while networking events on everything from books to art to fashion to music.
The place. So I mainly do school visits in London. I will travel further afield, but I think most schools that ask me to come in, it's not only because I'm doing an author visit, it's because I'm also talking to the kids about Black British history, and they're always interested. Kids just like, they bank facts. You don't have to fight their preconceived ideas about what British history is. They're very open to it. They're just like, oh great, this is more information that I can absorb. Great. So this guy's Pablo Fanke. Pablo Fanke was Britain's first black circus owner. He is my favourite character from Black British history. He's very obscurely referenced in a song by the Beatles called For the Benefit of Mr. Kite, because John Lennon found one of his circus posters in an antique shop and basically lifted words from the circus poster to write the lyrics. I'm not even sure that John Lennon knew that Pablo Fanke was black though, because he wasn't on that particular circus poster, so I don't think the Beatles were intentionally sort of giving light to a piece of Black British history. But Pablo was born in 1810 in Norwich. But he ends up owning his own circus, so he goes solo in 1842. He was very beloved in the north of England, so he started in all the northern towns, kind of building up his profile.
How was he able to do that on his own circus?
He, I think, borrowed money from William Batty. He manages to get an apprenticeship for a very famous circus owner at the time called William Batty, probably in his late teens. And then we suddenly see him appear for the first time in his early 20s, advertised as an acrobat. So he used to do tightrope walking, known as the slack rope. He did something called the cord fluxo, which is a long cord that hangs from the ceiling. But he was known for extraordinary leaping. So he could leap apparently up to 12 foot in the air. He would leap through steel daggers. He would leap over 10 horses back to back. I don't know how much of this was advertising and how much was truth, but that was what he was billed at. Pablo, quite early in his career, did a couple of performances where he's presented as the man from the jungle or the African hunter. That happened for a very short period of time, because for the rest of his career, he would generally be dressed like this. He would be in a top hat and tails. He was very keen to present himself as a gentleman. And part of that was because Victorian society was very much built around race, but also very much built around class. So sometimes you could get out of the race bucket by asserting your class. And circus was also one of those areas where if you had talent and ability, that could overcome prejudice against your race. So it's quite interesting when we see newspaper reports. Pablo was obviously a lot of the time described as an artist of colour or an equestrian of colour. Towards the end of his career, they stopped mentioning his colour at all. It was almost like he had achieved a certain status that he could just be known as a gentleman. Actually, what the British government did was buy all the slaves. So they paid all the slave owners for the slaves. So it was £20 million in 1833, which was 40% of the country's GDP.
Wow.
So when people talk about, oh, we could never do reparations because we can't afford it, it's like when they needed to find the money.
Just finished paying
2015. So yeah, it's not quite. There's a complicated thing about it, but essentially what happened is the Treasury, I think, thought they were doing a feel-good tweet in 2015, and they were like, "Hey, British public, you have now finished paying off the interest of the cost of abolishing slavery." And a lot of the British public went, "Oh my God, what do you mean my taxes have been paying the enslavers?"
No one knew they were doing that. Ever.
And it was slightly not, they didn't read the room. The room being the country. So that's how much debt the British government accrued in order, and of course the slaves got nothing, and they had to sort of stay in indentured servitude essentially for years afterwards. Now, any questions on?
It's fascinating that I didn't know about the 2015, that it was actually paid off in 2015 by
No, did I.
Right, so that's right, but I just wondered exactly. So when we're asking for reparation, right, 100% is valid, right? The base of the reparation, because if you've already built the country, and then also you're profitizing the people that you've used for free, right? What's the next stage in regards of how we go for reparations?
That is a very big question. So I think it's I don't know what the way forward is. I think we need politicians or a movement where that acknowledges that we need to start looking at what it looks like, because I think it can be financial, but there are other things that you look at in terms of trade. So I think it's not just a case of just like money changing hands and who does that money go to.
The Linney Trust in the UK has written a piece last year. They did a 10 chapter. It's quite pithy, it's quite good for children, use it quite a lot, to discuss what reparations is, because it's not just monetary, as you said. I prefer the CARICOM one because it explains a bit. It's a bit more headliney, whereas the Linney Trust is more about a justification for the case and what it would look like. There are things like tax breaks. There are things like recognition of the harm, psychological damage, so access to therapies. In the UK, a big one for us would be maternal health care and restitution for that as well, what that could look like for us as well. The 1st of August is a reparations march that happens from Brixton every year. And there's organisations on reparations that are currently going around through that now.
When you say that it's 1st of March?
Sorry,
1st of August. Oh, brilliant.
So there's one coming up.
There's an annual march.
Can I ask you might not know this, but you sound like you know a couple of things. When they talk about reparation, it's really, the conversation is geared towards the Caribbean a lot of the times into the UK.
No, there are other.
Are there conversations, and what does reparation for Africa looks like? Because obviously the story growing up was that Africans sold their brothers into slavery. They knew what they were doing. So how does that?
So there is this misconception that Africa didn't suffer from.
Well, exactly.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
So
we're still seeing it.
So we talk about the lost generations, the loss of income. When CARICOM does its 10-point program, one of it is the eradication of debt. And that would obviously help the African nations.
Exactly. I mean, with what we've just been hearing about France, and they're still making, things like
what's
that.
happening. Macron was down there trying to curry favour. Yeah. We know that Africa is resource rich, so the push for reparations isn't just about a monetary payment. It's about actually, we need you to come out of our country.
Well, that's it.
So it's also about what does that look like in terms, because you've had independence on paper, but in practice, in reality, if you look about Thomas Sankara and other people who've been quietly erased.
Yeah, and obviously, Africa fighting for one currency, just that alone. What does that look like? And how does that affect the West?
So there's a whole reparatory movement that's going on as well. It's one of my favourite topics.
That's brilliant.
About it all day.
My main thing is I just want kids to just have that seed planted that there were black people as part of the history, and that's been going on for a long time. But I kind of think of the book as like the equivalent of sneaking vegetables into your kids' tomato sauce. Lots of kind of thrilling adventure, but the history behind it is what I also want them to kind of ingest on the side while they're enjoying all the adventure and mayhem and time travel.
Thank you so much, Claire. I've learned so much. You kind of were so knowledgeable.
Oh yeah, no, this. But I think
really gave you a run for your money.
No, but I think we wanted this to be a talk, not just me talking. So thank you for everyone's contributions. I felt like it's been fantastic.
Claire's got these books for sale, which she's happy to sign for you guys, right?
Yes, and you can also have a bookmark for free. Yeah. So, do follow me, and if you want to stay in touch, then please do that as well.
Thank you all so.